Welcome back to ARMEDFORAGER. Today we're going to be looking at the Chiappa M6, and I did put a little cheapy scope on there. And we're also going to look at these inserts here. So these are Chaszel inserts. They give you that longer barrel. These four are 18 inches. And then I do have one in 9mm that usually comes with the M6. We'll also be talking about these chokes and what those look like in this M6 here, these Remington chokes. All right, cool. So right off the bat, let's look at these chokes. There's no ammunition in the firearm. It's fully unloaded. Usually these will have notches on them, and the different notches represent different things for different chokes and different manufacturers of chokes. This one comes with one that doesn't have any notches in it at all, and so that one would be your cylinder. And then the one notch represents that full choke. So that's going to be your tightest choke. The three notches usually represent a modified choke. All right, so if you're firing steel shot or you're gonna fire some slugs out of this, use the cylinder choke or the improved cylinder choke. If you're firing lead shot and you want a tighter grouping, then you would use the full choke. If you're just firing for fun and you're shooting at targets here from not a very far distance at all, just leave the cylinder in there, that's fine. I'll also leave a link to some pretty cool chokes that have some rifling at the end of them for like Sabot steel slugs and those types of fancy loads. That may improve your accuracy, but it also looks really cool. For our video and testing today, we'll just keep that cylinder in there. Next, we'll be checking out the Excalibur insert, and this one is in 9mm. We also have these Chaszel inserts. So here's what these look like. These are pretty astonishing. I really appreciate everything they do. It's really hard to get the caliber or gauge that you want because they sell out rather quickly. This one's the 18-inch insert, and it's got 9mm. AK round 7.62x39 insert, and I got a really special one here, 4570 government. So you can convert your break action shotgun into 4570 and fire those rounds. Given it's not going to be perfectly accurate, but if you know anything about this channel as somebody who practices survival, this would be my counterpart gun. This would be the one due to its versatility, and what you'll see next is its general accuracy. To mention, this is a 12 gauge over under 22 Magnum WMR. All right, so let's get at it. All right, so here's that CCI, here's that WMR. CCI offers some great ammunition. This is going to work just fine, and this is, again, a break action. All right, let's aim. I know, don't get me wrong, this is very close and I'm using a scope, but I'm more into reliability and general accuracy than long range shooting at this point. But we're gonna aim for this rectangle in the top. That one was a little low. We're gonna aim a little higher. Perfect. Okay. Two shots right in the middle there. We'll try 2 shots of 9mm with this Excalibur insert. These are actually pretty interesting. They fit very well, mainly because they were designed to do this. If you're using another break action 12 gauge, there can be complications in putting these in. They don't fit in all the way. With the Chaszel, you're not going to have that problem. But let's try 2 rounds of this, 9mm. Also, here's what you're going to want to do. You want it to sit on this part here. And if it's flipped around this way and it goes all the way in, it's not going to activate the primer. Okay, that was a little high. It was compensating. That's the other thing with this as well. If you sight this in, since it's an over-under, depending on which over or under you sight this in for, you're going to have to compensate. Okay, that time I got it within the square. It was a little to the right. That one worked pretty good. The Excalibur insert fit in there nice and snug. It didn't need these O-rings. This one has O-rings. This one is also 9mm, and it fits right in there as it should, just like the other one. So we'll try a couple of rounds of this. It already feels much heavier. Okay, that one made it right on the line, a little low, so I'll aim just a bit higher. Okay, right dead center, right in the middle. Not trying to sound biased, but this one feels a lot better. I feel like I have better accuracy with this. Your experience may vary. Okay, moving on up, 12 gauge to 7.62 by 39. Fits in there nice and snug. Actually gonna have to run that back afterward and see where that hit. Let's try another one. Still didn't see where it hit. I'll try one more of these guys mid-body. Okay, there it is. So it was a little low and to the right. I actually don't suggest using these 7.62 by 39 rounds in here. It may be too much pressure. And I did have a light primer strike with this one. It may just be the ammunition, but yeah, you don't want to ruin your internals when you're firing thing. So did that one for you guys. All right, so next up we got the 4570. Slide this guy in. So here's what we're looking at. Pretty big cartridge, pretty big round. Big chunk on the end there. Let's send it down range. All right, I'll be aiming mid-body here. Definitely feel that one when you squeeze the trigger. These things will definitely expand in there, and they will get stuck. So bring something like a push rod that's going to help get that out of there. I did not bring that with me this time around, and so it's stuck. A couple of rounds of this Winchester slugs. All right, let's go mid-body again. Was aiming for mid-body, got a little high up there. Or the wad punctured through the top there. We'll have to run that back. All right, looks like the wad and the slug hit in the general area. All right, let's get at it with this double-aught buck. And I'm gonna aim for the left shoulder. Did notice, and I had this issue with the 7.62, that firing pin is protruding out, and when you pull the trigger, it doesn't do anything. So I think it's getting stuck in there. I think I need to spray that down a little bit. All right. It was mainly in the way that I was pulling this guy here. So it did go back in. I tried to push it back in manually. So the reason it was protruding out, it wasn't because the firing pin was stuck on the rim or some of the metal here. I tried pushing it back in, and it just kind of bounced back out and refused to go in until I pushed this out a few times, and then it did go back in. So I don't know, maybe it's the mechanics of it or something. Let's try this double-aught buck. Left shoulder, and then the wad hit a little low. All right, cool. Firing pin looks like it's doing what it's supposed to now. One more. Hitting that same spot on the left shoulder. Looking good. All right, 2 shells of this heavy steel. This would be for your waterfowl. or pheasant or whatnot. I'm gonna go for the right shoulder. Sprayed it. All right, let's give it another one. Yep, peppered that shoulder. Tell you what, this doesn't, it's pretty unforgiving. For your fingers here, that middle finger right here, that's gonna kick and hit pretty hard. I would suggest putting something in here. For my final act, we're gonna try some of that high velocity Magnum steel. So this is a 3-inch. So far we've been using that 2 3/4. Let's try just below that midsection. A little to the right. Give it another shot. Just below the first shot. So is the M6 all it's cracked out to be? Well, if you get some decent sights on here, maybe a better scope if you're gonna use this as a rifle. Make sure as far as reliability that you're really cranking this open to reset that firing pin. Give it some spray with some ballistol, because again, you're gonna want that reliability. Is this a great backpack or brush gun? Absolutely. Know what you're getting into before you buy it. This isn't gonna be your rapid fire type of hunting rifle. This is gonna be your all-around survival weapon.